there. It's Wednesday again. Welcome to our Wednesday live coaching. For those of you who are all joining in live here on Zoom, drop in the comments where you're watching from. Love to see where everyone's coming in from. And for those of you watching the replay later in the portal or in the group, great job for showing up, making the time to, educate yourself and up level your learning and continue on your health journey, because it's not just a finite start and stop, right? We start here, we learn a few things, we stop, oh, we're done. We're never done, right? You've heard me say this a million times. If you're still on this earth breathing and moving, you are not done. There's lots of work to do for you, for your family, in the environment that you're in, and in your body, so you can keep doing that work, whatever it is that drives you, whatever your passion is that you love, even the things that you have to do that you maybe don't really want to do. We need to be capable to do all of those things physically, because if we don't have our health, there's not a lot we can do, right? So I am Tanya Gustafson, your nutritionist and fitness coach with Fit Nutrition. For those of you who are all doing your 8 weeks to optimal health, good job. I mean, we got a lot of people rocking it. I love that. And just so you know, if you're watching along, if you are one of our Fit family members currently diving in and just getting started, or maybe just finishing your 8 weeks to optimal health, just know that just because you maybe don't see other people commenting, or maybe you see other people that have different results than you, your journey is your journey, right? So I just encourage everyone to dive in fully so that you get the most benefit from it. Okay, this is for you. Everything I do here is for you. All right. So today, if you were with me last week, we talked about the amygdala attack. And so I'm just going to review a little bit on that, because if you're looking at last week's topic and you're looking at this week's topic and you're like, well, they're kind of the same. They're pretty similar. Well, you're right. They have some overlap here. So I just wanted to expand on that. So we talked about the amygdala attack. Now let me just bring up our little brain picture here, just so I can quickly refresh your memory. Or if you weren't watching last week, you can get a little snippet. Okay, here's our brain. Excuse me. And this little tiny piece right here, this little red spot we see with the incoming missiles, right? That is your amygdala. It's a tiny part of your brain that controls all those things. So when you say, I know what I'm supposed to do, but I'm not doing it, excuse me, that's the part that's taking over, and that's where the missile attacks are coming in, right? Those missile attacks are, yeah, well, you don't have to, it's okay. Or remember what you did last time, it didn't really work, so why are you gonna bother trying now? Or you don't have to do that. You deserve to fill in the blank, right? Whatever it is that's taking you away from your goal, or whatever it is you were trying to do. The yellow part, on the other hand, see with the guy carrying all the books here, that's that part of information, the stuff that and you should be doing it, or you want to do it, or you were doing it, but now somehow you're not doing it. The whole not doing, preventing doing, slowing you down from doing, blocking you from doing is the amygdala. Okay, so there is a physiological response here. There is something that happens in your brain, and people that say, oh, you just need more willpower. Willpower is not a strategy, right? We've talked about that before. And I was messaging with somebody, and they were saying that their spouse had said, well, you just have to stop doing that. You just have to stop. Well, that's a lot easier said than done sometimes, right? Like, think about people who want to quit smoking, people who want to start a workout program. If you have small children and they're just doing something they shouldn't be, and you say, stop it. If you don't give them something to do, if you don't say, let's do this instead, right? Let's put this away. We're going to do this instead. If you don't redirect their focus, if you don't give them something else to do, they're at a loss, and they just go back to doing whatever bad behavior it is that you didn't want them to do in the first place, because there was no other option. They couldn't see any other option. Okay. So the amygdala prevents you, you need to have another option. The amygdala is just blocking you from seeing another option, basically. So, I mean, it's interesting how, if you have kids, if you are a parent, even if your kids are grown, you remember when they were littles, right? And we do understand that concept, but for whatever reason, it gets lost in translation as you move up to the adult world. We think, well, you just should know better. You should just do that. Behaviors are behaviors. It doesn't matter the age necessarily. Behaviors are behaviors, and we need to replace one for the other. You need to replace something that you don't want to be doing with something that you do want to be doing that is appropriate for your goals, for your health, for your expectations, whatever it is that you may be doing. So, and you can apply this to any part, any area of your life, right? Any of your spinning plates, any of your job, your projects, your relationships, your work around the house, your hobbies, your learning a new topic, your reading the Bible, your whatever, fill in the blanks, right? You can apply it to anything. Whatever it is you're not doing, you need to shift behavior to something more acceptable so that you will continue to do that. And then you also have to understand that as that amygdala attack is coming in, you can feel free to just verbally out loud say, nope, I recognize that. That's an amygdala attack. It's like the little angel and devil. You remember seeing the little cartoons when we were kids? There's the one who's telling him what he should be and the one who's telling him what he shouldn't be doing, right? Well, the amygdala is like the little devil on your shoulder telling you, oh, it's okay. You don't need to do that. You can just, it doesn't matter. You slipped up at lunch and you forgot your protein. And so it's Friday. You know what? The whole weekend's a write-off. It's okay. You can start again on Monday. Those are the voices that sabotage you, because when it comes to our food, one meal, one of anything is not going to make a huge difference in your weight and in your health, right? One of anything is really, it has to be consistent, right? We have to build on it. And so building on things is what I wanted to talk about today, because we start often, right? We get started and then we kind of sometimes kind of fall off, right? We get kind of like distracted, or sometimes we're like, oh, is this all there is? And we need more, right? As people, we need more. We need a purpose. We need to be driven. We need to be inspired. We need to be motivated, and we need to have a community around us. And I was just talking with some of my coaching friends this morning. We had a little call, and that community of support, like-minded people to surround yourself with, is very, very important, because I mean, we've heard this before. You become the sum total of the people that you hang around with. And it's only about, like 5 or 6 people. Think about your kids again. It was really important to you to know who your kids were hanging out with when they were growing up, right? And I mean, there's always, if there's a negative person at your work, you know that you're probably going to be grumpier if you spend a lot of time chatting with them at lunchtime, or going, spending time with them at the office party or whatever. You kind of gravitate towards the people that are, positive and happy and making everyone laugh, right? Okay, so that's kind of the thing here. You want to surround yourself with people who are like-minded and doing that. And sometimes in our own families, that doesn't happen. So yeah, so I just wanted to preface that with our amygdala attack from last week. If you missed it, go back and watch it in the group, if you're in the group, or in your portal if you are into your 8 weeks to optimal health program. All of the things will be archived in your portal. So, okay. Alrighty, so we're going to dive into today's topic about, and we're going to expand on that, right? So I've got a few notes here. Hang on one second. So I was going to talk about what's familiar is not always your best choice, right? We can get into that little rut of doing things. And even though at one point, maybe it was a good choice, now we're kind of beyond that. We're at the next level. We want to move farther, but how do we get there? We kind of feel a little bit stuck sometimes, right? So, okay, now I'm going to you guys know that I've said before, I'm not that techie, right? So I'm going to see if I can bring up the whiteboard that I organized a few minutes ago. And hopefully y'all can see this. I'm hoping, as it's loading up. Okay, can we see the whole bunch of circles with the star in the middle? Hopefully if you can see that you know, drop a yes down in the chat below. That'd be really appreciated so I can make sure that I'm doing this right. To me, it looks like we're presenting and I'm off to the side and you can see this white screen, whole bunch of circles, star in the middle, and a whole bunch of questions. Right, and I'm going to move this up here because I got lots. Oh, excellent. We can see. Woohoo! Thank you. Whoa, Tanya conquered the tech. Mark this on the calendar. First time using a whiteboard on a Zoom. Okay. All right, not as hard as I thought. So look at, there we go. We can always do new things and we can do hard things, right? We can always do hard things. So this is my very, very crude drawing of an onion. Okay, now think of an onion when we're cutting one up for dinner or whatever, making food. And it's got all those layers, right? It's got all the little crunchy bits and it's got the fuzzy ends. And then you even still have that a little bit of an outer layer. And then when you cut it, it looks like a tree ring, right? It looks like this. It's got all the different rings and rings and rings all the way around. It's layers, right? Remember if your kids ever watched the show Shrek, or if you watched it, sometimes grown-ups like those ones too. He's like, you know, ogres are like onions. They have layers and layers, right? Okay, well, we're a little bit like that too. And we have to sometimes unpack the suitcase or peel back the layers to see where we're really coming from and why we're doing what we're doing. And again, like with a lot of things here, you can apply this to other things in your life. So what I want you to think about today though is with your health goals. And then, you know, if you want to take a screenshot of this, great. You can use it in other places, or you can just, you know, write it, draw it on a piece of paper. So what I'm going to say is, okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The star is number 7 in the middle. 7 layers. So I call this your 7 layers of why. Now, you know that when you started your program with your 8 weeks to optimal health, or if you did the PFC, you always have a why, right? And we got to know why we're doing something. And sometimes it's just as simple as saying, you know, and I'll fill this in as if I were, you know, basically just starting. I'm going to make this bigger. Hopefully you guys can see this if it's big enough. But it would, you know, be something like, why am I doing this? Okay, why did I get started? Pants are too tight. Whoops. Pants are too tight. Okay, so you're thinking, all right, my pants are too tight. Like I want to lose 10 pounds, right? Pants are too tight, lose 10 pounds. Okay. Super simple, common complaint. Any time of year, really, it doesn't really, you know, make a difference, but I get that a lot from people. And so, okay. Now that's a short-term why, and we've talked this before. So what's familiar, right, is so before you started here with 8 weeks to optimal health, before you did PFC3, whatever it was, you maybe did a diet, or you maybe tried your own thing, and that was familiar to you, right? Oh, pants are too tight, I have to do this again because it worked before. But did it really work if you're back doing the same thing to get the same result that you got last time and you lost the result? So I challenge that. Probably didn't really work, right? Okay. So you start and you say, why am I doing this? Okay, my pants are too tight. I need to lose my 10 pounds. I'm frustrated. Okay. Great. I say great. So now I'm going to ask you, we're going to expand on that, because that's your superficial, your ego why, we call it, like something that's on the outside that's involved with the way we look, right? And it's a very common one, and that's okay. It gives us something to start with. It's kind of like lighting the fire under your butt, right? You sat in the chair, ooh, you sat on a pin, it made you jump up and do something. This is that little pin. But if you take the pin out of the cushion, you can sit right back down. And, you know, once the little pokey spot goes away on your butt, you're comfortable to sit again in a very short period of time, right? So that would be this. It's a very short period of time, because what happens when you lose the weight? What happens when you lose the 10 pounds and your pants are no longer tight? Are you finished with your health? I don't think so, because that's what happened before, right? You just stop doing something and then slowly or quickly, depending, comes back on. Oh, dang, I got to do that again. Okay, so that's why we're exploring the layers. Okay, you with me? Okay, hopefully, if you're with me, give me a high five down below. Okay, so then I would ask next, okay, why am I doing this? Pants are too tight, I want to lose 10 pounds. Okay, when you lose 10 pounds, what does that give you? Or when your pants stop being too tight, what will that give you? Oh, okay. Well, let's think about that for a second. Okay, it's going to give me confidence. Okay. Going to give me confidence. Feel better about myself. Okay, I think we could probably all agree that that's probably a, fair common answer. Okay, I'm going to feel better about myself. Okay. So why is it important to you to have more confidence? We're going to add number 3. Now we're peeling back the third layer, right? Why is it important to have more confidence? The questions start to get a little harder, right? You see how this is going? Why do you need to feel better about yourself? Why is that important to you? So it might be a 2-part question. This one, you've got 2 parts here. So that even makes it, that you have to dive into that more, right? Why would having more confidence be important to you? Well, let me see. If I had more confidence, I'd be more likely to show up in more places, right? I'd be more likely to take control when I'm ordering in a restaurant because I wouldn't be, shy and sitting back. I would be confident that what I'm doing is working, and so then I need to keep doing it, right? So helps me keep going. Okay, just for lack of a better explanation. This is going to be yours though, so I really want you to expand and grow on all of these, right? So that would be my confidence. What else would you write for feeling better about myself? Why? Okay, why did you put that? Do you not feel good about yourself now? So why is that important to you? Why don't you feel good about yourself? Right? So there's all of these. Wow, so many questions from one answer, right? Can you see how that's going? All right, and so you're gonna, then when you get this answer, that helps me keep going. Okay, so number 4, what difference will that make in my life? If it helps me keep going, what difference will it make? Okay, so then maybe if I kept doing that same dieting thing over and over again and I had to keep going back, so maybe it would help me have more permanent results, and stop dieting. Okay, so that could be a response for this one. What difference will that make in my life? Well, why is it important to you that you have permanent results and that you're not dieting? Again, it's a 2-parter, right? I'm sorry, I'm very wordy. That's just me. If you're wordy, you're gonna get a lot of questions. You're gonna get way more than 7. If you're straightforward and to the point, you might be able to niche it down quickly. But the point is not to try and see how fast you can niche this down. The point is to niche it down to find where you're at. Okay. So why is that important? For me to have permanent results and to not diet. Well, I know the reason that when I stopped writing down all my calories and fat grams on my sticky notes and realized that, oh, hey, yeah, that is kind of a diet, because I wouldn't have never told people, oh, I'm on a diet. I would never have said that. Because in my mind, I knew that that was a negative connotation. It wasn't something healthy. In my mind, I was doing something that was healthy because I'd been taught that from the industry that I was in. I was in the health and fitness industry since 1986. I've been in the industry, never learned it for 22 years in that industry. Finally, till about 15 years ago is when I learned it. So if you hadn't heard my story, that's a bit of my story. And so why is it important for me to not diet? Because I want to have, I want to do things in a healthful way. I want to serve my body. I want my body to be healthy, right? My body, to be, I can't even spell today, guys. Healthy and strong. Okay. And so that's what I would, I would answer something like that there. Oh, okay, sorry for all the lines in there. Like I said, I did this really quickly and I was just kind of exploring how to do it. And so it worked. And so here we go. So I'm going to have to create this into a very lovely lesson with maybe my daughter's a graphic designer. Maybe I'll get her to do me some kind of an onion that looks very cool that, that we can incorporate into our portal. And so then if I want my body to be healthy and strong, well, what's that going to give me? Well, I can tell you there's way more than I can write on that line. I used to get sick a lot. I used to, when I was born, when I was 2 months old, I had this something to do with my lungs. And my dad said later, he said he thought he was very kind of scared that I might die. They were steaming me all night long. And I just was very rumbly and grumbly. And with babies, it's really kind of scary, right? And probably sound worse than they are. But anyway, and all the time I would get colds at least 2 or 3 times a year that lasted for weeks and weeks. I remember having to leave a restaurant because I was coughing so much. One time when I was a kid, one of my parents took me home. We were there with other people and one of them took me home. I just couldn't stop coughing. I remember going to school, being so stuffed up, like all the things, bronchitis, a lot, repeatedly had pneumonia when my youngest was 6 weeks old. So I had 3 kids under 6, nursing. In summer, I never thought people would get pneumonia in summer, but according to my doctor at the time, that is the most common. So who knew? And I had pneumonia. So, and now I haven't been sick probably for like a long time, a long, long time. Years until that I've not had something major, right? Like maybe I've had a little sniffly, oh, something's happening, and then I just shift what I'm doing and I'm fine. Nothing like what I had before. So what does that give me? That gives me my life back. That gives me my energy. It gives me so much more time to spend doing the things that I love with energy. And now that I have a grandson, I'm always confident that if, we make a plan that I can go somewhere, I can go visit them or they're coming here, I'm ready. I don't ever have to worry about, we're heading into the fall. I'm probably going to get that cold again. Or, oh my gosh, we're just after Christmas. Oh, birthday's coming up. I'm always sick on my birthday. Like it was that kind of a thing. So that means a lot to me. That that's maybe not your thing, but answer that question. Why is this important to me? And so answer that. And then what will that give me? Because it literally gave me my life back and my strength and my health moving forward. And then once you've answered that, what does that give me? That gives me all that I need to do in my life. It allows me to age well. It allows me to get stronger and healthier as I age, right? So I'm going to come out of here now so I can talk with you guys. You can see my face. Okay. So, the 7 layers of why. Does that help at all? Did any of that resonate with you? I mean, if you're watching, when I post this on the Facebook there in the portal, I'll come back and check your comments. But here on Zoom, did that help at all? Did that sort of trigger anything that's important for you? Did that twig anything? Because this is a fairly new teaching. I've talked about it with a few of you. We've done it one-on-one in one-on-one coaching, but I have not done sort of a training like this on it, a weekly coaching on this. But I felt it was just really, really important from all of the conversations that I've had lately, including the conversations that I had with coaches today, and what we see with our clients and what we just hear as we're talking with other coaches and their clients and all the things. We really need to niche down to the core of why we're doing this. I mean, we all know, if anyone asks you, does health matter? Well, yeah, health matters. Of course, health matters. Are you daft? Of course, health is important. The thing is, why is it important to you? Like really important. The thing that tugs at you from the inside, the thing that gets you excited. Did you hear my voice when I was explaining how I am not sick anymore? Like I don't have arthritis pain that I had for 20 years. I haven't had bronchitis or pneumonia for, I don't know, 30 years, 20, probably more like 20 years, 25 years. Because I started investing in my health and actively being an active participant in my health. That's probably the best way to say it. Being an active participant in your health. Do you have to do everything perfect? No, you're not going to do everything perfect. You're just not, because we're not perfect beings. Oh, that's great, Mel. Thanks for answering. Yes, it made sense. It helps me to push forward. Awesome. I love that. Okay. I hope that resonates the same with all of you watching. And I hope that as you niche down and as you go from layer to layer, and you know what? You don't have to do this all in one shot. because some of those questions are going to be tough. Some of those answers you're really going to want to search for. And as you're going through your program, once you get to week 5, as you're doing your program in your 8 weeks to optimal health, you're going to get that journal, and it's going to walk you through similar to what we were doing. I don't have the actual onion picture. That was, kind of an onion, right? I don't have the actual onion there, but I will have that. I will get that added as a teaching, and we'll get that up here shortly. But this will have to do for now. So I just thank you for joining me today. Thank you for participating. Thank you for, getting out a piece of paper and drawing your circles and peeling back your own onion so that you can find, what fills that star at the beginning and lights you in the middle, rather, what gets you down to that star and lights you up down to the flame in the middle, right? We have our Fit Nutrition flame. I just couldn't put a flame on there. I couldn't find the little flame icon. But when I do it, it will be a flame. So find your flame, right? Go deep, go peel back the layers, get down in there, find the flame that lights you up, that pulls at you to keep going, and that is meaningful to you, because we're all different and it's all going to resonate different. We all know that health matters. Why does it matter to you? And what does it mean for your life? All right. Thanks for joining here today, guys. Come back next week. Next week, it's going to be Tuesday, because Wednesday I'm traveling, and right at our time, I will be in the air without any service. And so we will be doing this Tuesday, next week on Tuesday. All right. You will get the email. Thanks for joining me here today. Have an awesome week, you guys. Stay cool in the sun.